Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Frank Starfire, and this is the Just to Be Frank podcast. On the show today, I got my homeboy Shaun Wallace with me, and we're going to be talking some things, including artificial intelligence. We're going to talk a little bit about Elon Musk's Neuralink, and we damn sure going to touch on these Canadian wildfires that are currently screwing up my air quality where I am. Word up. So, do me a favor, like I always ask. Appreciate it if you do. Like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. And on with the show.
So like,
I'm glad I hit record after
I'm not done. I'm not done. I just farted and it smells like green eggs and ham. You know that smell?
that. Sadly, I do. I just started eating eggs recently, and I'm not a fan. But you know,
You're not a fan of eggs?
I don't like eggs. Never have.
I don't like them anymore. I'm done.
Really?
I am. Like it's making me queasy and shit.
You
And
know
then
what's
again,
funny? The smell always got me. I never enjoyed it, but you know,
I've always loved eggs, but now I'm just getting this whole nauseous feeling, and I'm like, this. I think it's time to hang it up.
I mean, it's possible you're eating the wrong eggs. Are you eating brown eggs or white eggs?
White eggs, I guess. I don't know.
That there's the difference. I've noticed brown eggs do taste different. They're a little bit fresher, and they have a little bit more flavor to them. I guess I'd say, much as eggs do.
It has a dash of chocolate.
As you know, get a little dash of chocolate, you'll be fine. Um, but no, it's fucking hazy as shit up here. The air quality is
What does
trash.
that mean? What does hazy mean? Like, is it like a fog?
So honestly, dog, it's like, all right. So you know when you throw a barbecue, right? You know when you got a grill going and you get the smoke in the air, and it's like you could smell the burning and everything. It's like that, but everywhere. Like it smells like fire everywhere. It smells like um it just smells like burning, and it's coming from Canada. So apparently Canada's having wildfires right now. And because of the way the possibly La Nina or El Nino or one of them air current shits, it's causing the smoke to come down here. So parts of New York, Pennsylvania, it's like a fog of haze, like just smoke in the air. So we can't even see the sun right now because of all the smoke in the air. It smells like burning. When you go outside, you can smell burning. Like even when I was I had to drive to Walmart to get a power cord, and it was just bad. Like you can smell burning everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's like, for people who don't experience wildfires, it's sort of it's a big wake up call. So I don't want to ever hear anybody talk about, well, climate change isn't real and global warming and all this type. Nah, you're wrong. Shut up. Because
Wait,
uh,
climate change? So climate change. What's your stance on climate change?
climate change is definitely a thing. It is indeed
Mhm.
humans do contribute to it. Uh, the burning of fossil fuels. In all honesty, affairs, I think it goes back to the Industrial Revolution. Honestly, when everybody just started putting up factory after factory, and smoke started flying into the air from all the burning to make things and all that. And I don't think we've ever gotten out of that in a way where it's beneficial to people to I don't think we've ever gotten out of it in a way where it's beneficial for people to breathe properly. So, especially if you're in like urban environments, and we can get into the racial disparity of that, how most factories are on the south side of town, just above where usually black people congregate. That's a thing. That is a thing.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I
so
realized. I realized that like they put a lot of stuff like highways and all that congestion stuff, city stuff. They put that in one small area, and then outside of that is where you see the higher quality of living,
Yeah. Yeah.
away from the madness.
Yep.
They tend to like, I won't say circle it, but they definitely corner it, block it off, and it's like put all that stuff that we need over here, people over here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
keep it. It will be nice and quiet over here.
Right. And that is a real thing. And it goes back to redlining practices, which are still very prevalent. But the air quality right now up here in the Poconos where I'm at is horrendous. So it's hard to breathe. It's hard to be outside. You don't want to be anywhere other than inside your house right now. And it's messed up because I work outside normally. So, luckily I don't have asthma or anything like that. And my girl's like, well, is it bothering you? I'm like, no, not really, because I smoked since I was 15 years old. I'm 40 now. So it doesn't affect me that badly. But at the same time, you can still kind of feel
It's
that.
discomfort. It's discomforting.
It's
You're not.
discomforting.
You're not. You didn't see this coming. You didn't expect this. This is
No,
not. This isn't a normal way of life, and it's like, whoa, huge adjustment.
who
So like,
expects? No, go ahead.
no, so like where I'm at now in Pittsburgh, which is basically like the steel city where everything was like, you know, every building that you have or a lot of it came out of the city. So people were telling me that for years, for decades even, that you can if you're outside of Pittsburgh, outside in Pittsburgh, like downtown Pittsburgh or anywhere within the vicinity, when you come by the time you come home, you're gonna come home black
Yeah,
from all the smog and all the steel that's been
the
distributed,
soot.
and all the smoke and all the stuff like that. It used to engulf the entire city to where that smog and stuff will come up on your skin,
Yeah,
clothes, all that stuff. And I worked in an actual like steel cutting factory or whatever, and I used to do like maybe 12, 11 and a half hours a day.
mm-hmm.
And dude, I was literally like blackface.
Yeah.
Time I got home, like by the time I got home, it's crazy.
You're blowing it out your
So
nose, all that shit.
yeah, I don't know if it's that. I don't think it's that's what I was wondering. I wonder if it was that bad to where stuff is like if stuff in the like they say it's a haze, so it's like there is stuff in the air, but is it like, can you feel it? Is it like that's the stuff that's in the air? Does it become a part of you, or is it just something that you're smelling and you kind of just see it?
I want to say it's kind of both. Like you can feel the weight of it on your lungs as you're walking through it. Like you notice your breathing's a little bit heavier than it should be. Your heart rate might get up a little bit more than it normally would. And you can kind of like, even if you just go outside and just stand there for a minute, your eyes start to water a little bit. It's like I said, it's like having a barbecue smoke blowing right in your face constantly. You know what I mean? It's nuts, man. And who expects Canada to set on fire like that? Like you don't expect.
Wildfire. Excuse my ignorance, because this is why I like talking to you, because you're full of information, useful information at that. But yeah. Go ahead, enjoy that. Give yourself a round of applause, a little pat on the back. But is wildfires man-made? Because it's like when I feel like if they chop certain amounts of trees off or whatever the case may be, and the rest they'll just torch it.
So wildfires can be sparked one of several ways. One way it happens naturally is that during dry season, it can, like a lightning strike can hit a tree and that can spark a wildfire. Um, sometimes they'll do controlled burns in certain areas, because what happens is when a wildfire rushes through a forest, all that stuff that kind of dies from the fire becomes fodder for new growth. So it does happen naturally. Man-made is when somebody is doing a fucking a gender reveal and they set off fireworks and the fireworks catch some dry tinder and spark a wildfire, or they toss a cigarette or a joint or something and that can spark a wildfire. So it can happen both ways. It can be natural, but it could be man-made. And it definitely, as far as what Canada's going through, I would surmise that it's a natural one, but I don't know for sure. I genuinely don't know for sure. So,
I feel like corporate people are corrupt enough to do some dumb like that, because so Daz from the dog pound, he was like, yo, I'll like buy some land like where a bunch of trees are, which I thought of all the time. Like, you driving past, it's like, yo, look at all this land, but is this stuff like paid for or whatever? But he was like, yo, I'll just buy a piece of land, chop all the trees down, and then turn it into a truck stop.
It's that's smart, and that's unintelligent in a way. Like, yeah.
It's unintelligent.
Well, not so much unintelligent. It's always it's a good business. The problem is the more trees we cut down, the higher levels of carbon monoxide and other greenhouse gases stay in the atmosphere, because what trees do, trees filter all of that out of the atmosphere and produce more oxygen. So the more trees you take away from an area, the poorer the air quality is going to be, because you don't have that natural filtration system in place. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you put a truck stop, then that's going to be massive trucks which spew mad smoke and other crap into the air. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things that you probably should not do. I wouldn't say it's the worst idea, but it ain't the best.
I mean, just another reason for why. I mean, what I just said was like, you know what I'm saying? People with capitalistic intentions, I guess, trying to make some money or whatever the case may be, they'll do something and then cash out on that, and then there's like some type of like residue or some after stuff that they're not concerned with anymore, because they did what they had to do to get their bread, and to like clear that area out. I would not be surprised or wouldn't put it past somebody to like just torch these stubs, because we're not doing nothing with the stubs. We're not doing nothing with the roots. We're not doing with this area. Let's just burn it off real quick, and then we'll pave over it later, or we'll deal with it later. Well, and I feel like sometimes it could probably, and this is, like I said, this is just my thoughts or whatever, that they'll do it and it'll get out of hand, and then won't even be held accountable for it.
So recently up here, they tore down basically an entire forest, which is, to me, they tore down an entire ecosystem to put up a warehouse, or they're putting up a warehouse, right? And in an area like the Poconos, where one comes to enjoy the nature, to me, that's incredibly wrong. To take away a beautiful forest full of trees that were, a natural air filter, to put up something that may or may not be absolutely necessary. Like, do we need another warehouse up here? No. But capitalism going capitalism, and that's where we're at. It's like you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you need all this extra urban development in a place that's supposed to be nature. And I, for one, say no. Yes, you want more jobs, and that's always a good thing. But the problem is, maybe, just maybe, the better idea would be to, instead of tearing down an entire ecosystem, maybe just pay people a living wage. Like you know, I don't know, man. It's one. I don't want to say who I work for because Lord knows, maybe they'll sponsor me one day. But at the same time, if you make billions of dollars, there's no reason why you can't pay your employees what you as a corporate muckety muck are going to make simply because you want people to be less than. Like, honestly, nobody in this economy, in this world, in this time of need should be making less than $30 an hour. That's just real. Like, you should not be. So anybody who owns a giant corporation that pays their people low wages, to me, you are a part of the problem because you're not allowing people to rise up above what they started at. You know what I'm saying? You're keeping people at a certain level because you want to stay above everybody. And that is crap to me. Like, that's garbage. You shouldn't do that.
I got a question for you, man.
Uh-oh.
I don't think we're gonna like the direction of this for real. Who do you empathize with more, the business owner or the uh worker for a business? Because it's like, man, in order for you to work, somebody has to build something in order for you to work there and stuff like that. So, but the person that is actually building the business, are you do you consider like what it is that they lose? Because a lot of times when you get to this discussion, it turns into like big corporations like Home Depot or uh, Pfizer or somebody big that hires like hundreds of thousands of people or whatever the case may be. We focus on them, but then you have these small, the mom and pop stuff, the small shops, the small business owners and stuff like that, trying to build something, trying to start something for themselves. So a lot of times, and there's a like everybody has their gripes. So do you empathize more with the worker, with the working American or the business owning American?
So I'm kind of two-minded about it. And the way I look at it is like this. Like, look at the pandemic. All the mom and pop shops were forced to close, but big retailers were allowed to stay open. That destroyed how many businesses? You know what I'm saying? So I think it's that I empathize with everyday average cat who is going to work every day to make enough money to feed their family. Now, if you are a large corporation, and again, like I said, if you're a large corporation and you rake in literal billions of dollars a year and you pay your employees less than $20, $30 an hour, you're a piece of crap. That's how I feel. If you are a small business owner and you don't generate that much revenue, but you still have people who work for you, and I want you to be able to pay your employees a decent wage. Obviously, if you work at a mom and pop shop, obviously you probably can't make $20, $30 an hour. But if you work for somebody like Amazon, then there's no way that you shouldn't make that starting and then go from there. So for me, I empathize with the everyday average small business owner more, especially as a small business owner myself. I empathize with that person more, mainly because I understand that it costs a lot to run your business, and you may not generate as much revenue for that business because bigger people, bigger retailers, bigger corporations are taking away more capital from you, especially when you're forced to close because of a pandemic or wildfires or whatever the case may be. I think the everyday average American citizen should be making way more than they actually are. And I think, like I said, I think if you are a company and you're the head of the company and all your vice presidents are making buku dollars, then the people who work for you should also be allowed to make buku dollars. You should share the wealth. Now, some people would call me a socialist. It's not so much that I'm a socialist, I'm not an anythingist. You know what I mean? What I am is somebody that believes in fairness and decency. That's what I believe in. So if I had employees, I'd want to pay them enough to where they can survive and live, not just survive, but thrive. I want to pay you enough to where you can thrive in this world. I don't want you to have to work check to check and struggle to make ends meet. Whereas the person who's maybe just 2 stations above you has no problems. That's a problem. You know what I mean? So I empathize with the small business person. I do. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying, and of course, obviously, if you are a business, your business is designed to make money. I get it. But at the same time, treat your employees as if they're actual people and do live in this world that you live in, and maybe allow them to come up as well.
I tend to empathize with the business owner only because of the creation of something and the ability for others to come in and get some money as well. You need that. Like everybody, like we all need that because not everybody's a boss.
Right.
Not everybody has what it takes or the wherewithal to run their own business.
Right.
And the bottom line is, it's like we need those people. We need those innovators and those people that put things together to continue to do that, so that everybody else around you can come in, make some money with you, or for whatever great idea that you have, or whatever the case may be. Come in and make some money with you, and rise, build something up together, whatever the case may be.
Right.
But you don't get that without this person having the willingness and the drive to create. Create jobs, to create a business, stuff like that. So where's the incentive? Like, where's the incentive for me to do that when I do start my business and I do need workers, I have to pay them. I'm gonna have to pay them some wild amount because of people's approach towards corporations. Now, there's a difference between corporations and businesses.
Yes.
A lot of people will target the corporation, and in turn, you're gonna make the businesses suffer because they can't afford to pay their employees and continue to have the products, whatever it is that they're distributing or serving.
It's like I said, if your business generates billions of dollars, there's no reason why you can't pay your employees that same money. And I get it. You've got overhead, you've got insurance, you've got
in order to generate billions of dollars, you are going to have a lot of people involved. It's not like, oh, I'm selling hot dogs and I'm making billions of dollars off these hot dogs at my stand,
Unless they're
and
great hot dogs.
and now I got now I got all this money. I got to to just divvy it out and stuff like that. You got you know fucking the CEOs and the director of this and the associate person of
Right.
that and the secretary of this and HR and you got all these things, and then the employee themselves, they look at their paychecks and be like, okay, I got this amount. So say $1,842 for 2 weeks of work, well over 40 hours. You ain't getting that.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
works 40 hours anymore.
No. No, they don't.
Nobody, you know what I'm saying, way down in the jungle deep, don't work 40 hours.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But you see your check that says 1842, when in reality your company paid probably like $3,000.
It's again, and that's the
Because we
difference
all
between
because we all because we all have to pay. You're saying we have to pay our taxes when companies or corporations are the ones that really get away with it, where they don't really pay the taxes that they're supposed to pay, if at all.
if at all.
Small businesses and businesses, they do have to pay their taxes. A lot of them don't have don't know all those little loopholes and shit like that,
The
and they have to pay.
protections.
You know what I'm saying? You're paying extra. You're not making it. The worker is not making it desirable for someone to have a business, because I can get a business and all that stuff, but who am I going to have working for me? And the people that I have working for me, are they going to be complaining the entire time
Chances are,
while they're at this job that I created?
chances are they
Or
will, because everything rises but your paycheck. So inflation the cost of inflation should dictate what you pay your employees. So if everything else is rising but your wages, then you're not gonna ever be
wages shouldn't be the last thing.
above
It shouldn't be the
where
last
you
thing
are.
to go up.
Huh?
Wages shouldn't be the last thing to go up.
Wages should not be the last thing to go up. You know what I'm saying? And in all honesty and fairness, I firmly believe that a well-paid employee is an employee that wants to work for you. You know what I'm saying? So if I was making $30 an hour to do the job that I do, I would be a happy person going into work every day, smiling and doing the job that is tasked to me. But if I'm not making that much, then yeah, I'm going to grumble and groan and grouse about everything that I've got going on other than my paycheck rising. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, they had this place, the milkshake factory out here, and they used to pay their people like $8, $9 an hour, something like that. So they upped it. They upped it to 15.
Right.
They upped it to 15, and business, like, I don't know, I forgot what they said, but it was like their business didn't fall off at all. If anything,
Right.
it kind of grew.
Right.
And it's like people will then fear, like, yo, if I pay you more, this is more coming out of my pocket. Am I going to get the same production from you? Am I going to get the same amount of customers? And I'm just giving more and more and more. I've already given you a job. I've already given you something to do for 40 hours out of your life. I'm giving. You don't think of the business owner as the person that gives. They're the person that butters the bread.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. But like I said, there's a vast difference between a corporation and a small business. And like I said, if you are an employee for a small business and your boss and that small business is paying you a decent salary, chances are that's going to translate to more people coming in, because you are a happier employee, because you don't have to stress about whether or not you have to eat or buy this medication, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not stressing about these things.
morale is like the last thing on any corporation's mind.
Right, and
Nope.
that's wrong because the
Or they
morale of
or
your
they're paying
employees.
somebody, or they're paying somebody to make you think that they care.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, if you actually cared about your employees, you would pay them a wage that made them want to come to work for you. Now, we don't live in a perfect world. And you're right. There are all these different things you got to pay for and all that. But do I really need 5 different CEOs? Do I really need this many vice presidents that make this amount of money? Do I need these? Do I need these people who are all the way at the top making decisions about how I do my job and what I do for my job, making so much money that they don't have to worry about where their next meal is going to come from? But me, as the person who has to come to work every day, I do. That is untenable to me. If I work for anybody, especially if it's a large corporation, and I do, I should never have to worry about where my next meal is going to come from. I should never have to make a decision about if I'm going to eat or be able to pay a bill. I should never have to worry.
You also have to keep in mind that you're a good employee, right? You're a good employee. Why do I want you to change? No. If you're a good employee, you're doing your job wonderfully. Everything is running smooth, day in and day out. Why would I want you to leave?
Precisely.
I need you to stay. I need you to stay right where you are.
And the best way to do that is to make sure that I have enough money to survive and live and make sure that my rent gets paid or my mortgage gets paid and I still have enough money.
I need you to stay down because the better you feel and the more up you feel, next thing you know, you start thinking the shit that you're going to do. And then you're going to start getting a business. And then I'm going to be out of a guy. And I'm going to find a new guy. And I'm going to pay him less. I'm going to pay him less for him to do probably less than what you used to do.
And that is like that's where we kind of get into that.
When I can just keep you where you at, I need to keep you as low as possible. I need to keep you as complacent and low as possible, so where you feel like you need me.
Right, but in reality, is your business won't work, your business won't run if you don't have employees to make your business run. So if you want and again, ultimately, you as a business owner should want the person that you're paying to set the tone so that the people who are coming in after him can continue that same level of great work and great workmanship and be able to continue the trend steadily. And yes, you as an employee should desire to have more and grow and move beyond what you are. You know what I'm saying? You should never be complacent. Comfort is complacency, and complacency will kill you. You know what I'm saying? So pay people better and you'll get more people that want to work for you. And then when those people have reached a point where they can go and do XYZ for themselves, the people behind them
are. That's not fantasy to you. That sounds.
Of course, it's fucking fantasy to me because that's not what happens.
Only because one, I've never seen it done. Two, I have seen I'm in a situation where you either have enough employees or you get it done with less than what you have, than less than what you need. Like you need more from these guys, but they don't have it. But they need to overcompensate for it and get the job done anyway. I've watched that work get done a whole lot better than if I have an abundance of employees, because then some of them are going to lack off.
But again,
which would then frustrate the good employees.
But what makes it good?
But if you have just a few good guys just to get the job done, you're not paying as much. They're doing their job anyway. It's a catch-22. It's such a messed up game, man.
Right. So what makes a good employee? An employee that's well paid and well taken care of. Because if I'm a well paid employee and I'm well taken care of, then I want to work for you and I want to do a good job for you because you're paying me well to do so. And
Yes, but that goes from where you've come from. Because if you came from shit and you rise up to dirt, you're gonna be like, well, this is a whole lot better than where the fuck I came from. But if you came from the tall grass and now you're down here in the mud, you're gonna be like, yo, this ain't. I don't want to do this. I don't want to work here.
precisely. And that, but again, every employer's job and ultimate goal, I think, should be to help the people who work for you rise up. Because how did Macho Man say it? The cream always rises to the top. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to the Macho Man Randy Savage, and rest in peace to the Iron Sheik who just passed away today at 81.
He passed away today.
But listen, we gonna come back and talk about artificial intelligence and how fucked up that is, and we'll also do a discussion on Neuralink when the Just to Be Frank podcast comes back. We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned. Enjoy these messages from our sponsors. Welcome back to the Just to Be Frank podcast. I'm, of course, your boy Frank Starfire. It's my brother Shaun Wallace. So, artificial intelligence, AI for sure.
Are you ready, my friend?
Man, right now AI about to make me say some crazy shit.
What you gonna say about AI? Dog? First of all, I feel like we're going way too far with this. Technically, AI exists. AI is here, already here. Yes. It's just dumb.
Yes.
Artificial intelligence is not that intelligent.
I have seen how this movie ends, and it doesn't usually end well for us.
Don't let the white imagination scare you, dog. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. You and most of everyone else has a condition based on the imagination of white people. Because we don't create nothing. When you see black films, black cinema, black ideas, it's very, very, very generic. It's usually the same thing. There's not much creativity. All the creativity in the world that we have consumed most of the time comes from white people. And the Japanese is with anime. But for the most part, monsters and goblins and superheroes and zombies and all this shit, this is white people.
You just use the word goblin? It's goblin, man.
Did I say goblin?
You said goblin.
There's a goblin. There's a goblin out there.
Goblins, man. And look,
goblins and goblins.
It's funny. I often make fun of my girl because my girl loves to go into like abandoned buildings and things like that, and like condemned buildings and things like that. And I always make fun of her because I'm like, yo, you haven't seen enough horror movies in your life to make you scared of that type of shit.
Right?
Now, as far as artificial intelligence
goes, of the dark.
Huh?
That's why you're so afraid of the dark. You don't know what the hell
afraid of the dark,
but you've seen so much shit happen in the dark, and you are not interested in that shit. Now, AI has had several imaginations or whatever, like futuristic ideas. My favorite is iRobot.
Okay. All right. And you know what? Great film. And I would say that for me, the one I love the most is the Terminator Part 2, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. And the reason I make the joke of I've seen how that movie ends, it doesn't end well for us, is because if artificial intelligence comes to the decision on its own that we as humans are the problem, I think it will work to eradicate us. Now, yes, that is a flight of fancy and imagination, but that's not entirely to say that it's not possible.
It is highly possible. It's guaranteed.
It's guaranteed. And that's what I'm saying. Like I think artificial intelligence, I've seen what it does with the chat GPT and all these different things. I think a dude just got, a lawyer
Is that
just
the only
got,
thing that's out right now?
huh?
Is Chat GPT the only thing out right now?
No, I'm sure there's others. Listen, our phone, Zoom, everything runs on artificial intelligence in a way. But I think
Okay,
that
I can see what you're saying.
ultimately, it if you design something that's designed to outthink you, then it's going to do that. And once it begins to outthink you, if it gains sentience, and I think what I'm afraid of is artificial intelligence gaining sentience. And I was having a debate with somebody the other day. Me and my stepson was having a debate with somebody one day, and he's like, "Look, artificial intelligence is going to take your job because they've already got robots doing so much stuff. Where does it end? You know what I'm saying? So if they design a robot that can fix a engine, that's auto mechanic's job gone. If they can make an artificial intelligence or a robot that can work McDonald's, and you see self-checkout is a thing in a lot of places where they're just all self-checkout and you don't have to interact with another person. You can go into McDonald's right now, and mind you, I haven't eaten McDonald's in years, but you can go into a McDonald's right now and you don't even have to go to the counter anymore. You go to the little screen, boop, 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 boop. This is what I
No,
want.
it's in your phone. It's
It's
in
on
your
your
phone.
phone. Yeah, your phone. I mean, that's ultimate. But what I
Your
mean
phone.
is things that can take away from a human interaction and humans doing the job, that's where it's going to cross a line. Because if you make something so intelligent that it can take jobs away from everyday average person, you're what's left for humans to do but become like in Wall-E, where everybody's just a freaking obese mess and all they do is just freaking sit there and drink soda. You know
That
what I'm
was
saying?
that's my number two.
Wall-E is dope. But
Wally was scary as to me. I was
Wall-E
like,
should
man, you're not that. I was like, man, you're not that far off, bro.
not that far off. And this is what I'm saying. That's my fear of it. And I'm sure that there are some practical applications to which it's good for us. But if it ever gained sentience, like apparently, like there was a thing where an artificial intelligence taught itself Arabic in 5 minutes based on the mistakes it made, and then had Arab, like it was released to an Arabic country. It And then the people saw it and spoke in Arabic about it, and it gleaned from what it was reading from the people how to correct itself, and then it learned it. That's scary to a degree because it's like,
That's
okay, if you
dope.
make something that's so smart that it can replace you, it can replace a lawyer, it can replace a rapper, it can replace a musician, it can replace an auto mechanic, anything that takes away from people being able to work and do their job. That should be a frightening thing, because what that's going to do is like, okay, well, we have this whole warehouse but we don't need employees because we have robots running everything. We have robots making everything in this factory. What do you need humans for? You know what I'm saying? That's a bad thing. That's a bad tiding. That is taking away.
Is it though?
Yes, because
I don't
while
think so.
nobody
I don't
actually
think it's
wants
that
to
bad.
work,
Let me tell you why it's not that bad. Because you are finding humans. Humans are not like we used to know them. Humans have changed. Humans have adapted. It is 2023. You know that these humans coming because we're really up there, bro. There's like 3 generations that has surpassed the point where we remember technology to have begun.
I agree.
These new adults coming up, anywhere from ages from 16 to 20, they will all say this: I don't like people.
Yeah.
I want to stay as far away from people as I can. So guess what? So guess what you're eliminating right there? The whole service industry. Because if I can't take people, I can't go to a place where I'm going to be underpaid and have to deal with them on a day-to-day basis. That's why you see, in, people don't work no more. A lot of
Nobody
places
wants
don't
to
even
work
open because you can't, because they don't have the employees and stuff like that. So why not give it to the robots? Because y'all
because,
don't want to do it.
well, because like I said, it depends on the industry. So I think that trade craft, your auto mechanics, your bricklayers, your people like that, I don't think a robot could ever fully replace that, because there's something about human ingenuity that is magnificent and amazing. So, you as a robot might not understand, like, okay, if I put this here, this might cause a detriment to the person. But a person might be able to say, well, if you design it like this and then make it like this, maybe we, you know what I'm saying? There's an aspect of human ingenuity that I think is necessary for and vital for humans to continue to evolve and grow.
You
And I
know what
think if
humans
you,
do? Humans make mistakes, dog.
sure, humans make mistakes, but you don't think, bro, human has to design the robot. So if a human designs a robot that has the flaws, that's where we come into a problem, because if the robot starts thinking for itself, it might think this human who's controlling me is stupid. I'm better than it. Kill the human. or
But
or
that's never gonna happen. Look at Iron Man. He wasn't making the machines. The machines was making the machines. He made one machine that made, or like, yeah, two of them, I think. Whatever. You know.
right.
But he had a whole slew of Iron Man suits flying around. He didn't do anything to them. He
No,
just developed it.
he
And you're
developed
not
it.
and you're not gonna sit here, and give a developer the uh the class of an idiot. You're not gonna sit here and say, oh, he's not that smart, or the AI is going to be smarter than the developer. Like, I don't.
But if
But
you design the AI to learn, then it can be.
this is something. So now the only problem that I have with it, I think AI is necessary. I think it's going to be very beneficial for people. I think we're going to need it. But the only problem that I have with it is the learning, not necessarily the learning aspect, but the we're in the way. I do see that happening. Oh, the problem is that technology never ends up the way it started out to be. Like, the
No,
reason it was created, the reason where things are created in technology, they never end up the way with the intention that it started with. So you can have the AI and be like, well, you know, they can do the things that we don't want to do, or things that we don't have to do, or we can have these robots or whatever wash my dishes or something like that.
sure, but that's the Jetsons.
All I wanted from technology is one thing: drop me off wherever I'm going, and have my car drop me off wherever I'm going, and then pick me up later when I'm done with it and bring me home.
Without killing me or anybody else. And that's fair. And that I understand, and I'm all for that. Self-autonomous cars and all that. Hey, listen, I
Yes,
ain't got no problem with that. But I do have a problem with creating artificial intelligence that creates artificial life. Because once you create artificial life, then that life begins to think for itself, and it comes to the understanding that you fleshy, bloody things that created us may be the issue, and then we go from there. Then
would you
we're
get a
fighting
sex
robots.
doll? Would you get a sex doll that had AI technology in it?
No. I don't want a sex doll at all.
No, seriously, no. You don't want
No,
that?
no, I don't want that.
Something that can learn how to make you come.
I have a future wife. She can learn everything I need to do to
No, she's
please
not.
me, and I can learn everything I
No,
need to do to please her.
no, no. Hell no.
Now, of course,
The AI will blow her out of the water. You know it.
probably, but you know what? I wouldn't get as much enjoyment out of it. And now here's the thing. If you want to say create a hybrid of man and machine, like cyborgs, like if you like boom, I give you a perfect example. If you want to take this one bad eye of mine out, right, and replace it with apparatus that can record, take pictures, like automatically Google whatever I wink at or something like that, I'm all for you. If you want to graft wings or a tail to me or enhance my musculature with cybernetics and things like that, I'm all for it. I'm with that shit. I will gladly do that. You want to make a super soldier out of me? Do it. Let's do it. But make sure that you don't put some damn device in the back of my neck that if I get out of line, you just press the button and my head explodes.
But see,
hold on.
The problem is that all of that stuff is already here. You know that stuff is already here.
I mean, the
military has.
And that's my thing. I think that if you've seen it in a movie, chances are somebody has thought about it for practical use in real life and has probably created a prototype of it more often for not for military purposes. And I think that that's a real thing. But
there's nothing that we have that they don't have.
Right. But same token, I'm still waiting on my actual hoverboard. Okay. So
the actual hoverboard.
An actual hoverboard.
They have it.
No. Like a hoverboard.
I'm not talking about the one that rolls.
Yeah.
The one that lifts off the air and you.
Right.
Yeah, they have
through whatever means, magnetics, propulsion, whatever you make of it, however you make it. I'm waiting on that.
But that's tech. That's tech shit. That's tech shit. Artificial intelligence. Now, that's something that can learn how to do things for you. You've created this machine, or whatever the case may be, for it to do a specific job. You don't really need one to be your fucking companion. Like, you don't need one to be a fucking sex doll or nothing like that. You just need one to work. You just need one to work the warehouse and do it accurately 100% of the time, every time.
Right. But again,
if anything casualties were to happen, that just means the machine is broken. And
right. But what happens to the people who that robot replaces?
This is the problem that needs to be solved before these things get before it really starts unrolling and stuff like that. And I don't know if you watch Solar Opposites, but he said this shit. just the dude that made Rick and Morty, who we need to just let go. Like, we need to just forgive him already. I don't know. I forgot what the fuck he did.
Justin Roiland.
Yeah. They got rid of Rick and Morty, got rid of Solar Opposites. I don't know. I'm ready to forgive him. Bring my shows back. But anyway, he was like, yo, I don't know why humans have not figured out a way to make currency when the robots take their jobs.
Because at that point, you really need currency.
It's all about currency. That's what we're worried about. That's what we're worried about all the time as we're talking about jobs. That's just currency.
So
that's the robot will then get the love that you want the business owner to give you, but they're going to do it for less.
Yeah, because they don't need money.
Yeah,
but that's going to be more of a strain on the people who don't have that job now, because they still have to pay bills. They still have to pay their rent and mortgage and electric and water and all that. They still have to pay those bills.
Who knows? If maybe with this stuff, they won't feel a need to charge for shit. I don't know.
Well, then at that point, that's when we'll have a social credit score. That's when we'll have a social credit system, and that's scary to me too. Because that's like saying, well, you looked at Pornhub for 5 hours last week. You don't deserve to buy that house. You know what I'm saying? You know,
we're rejecting that purchase.
right. We're rejecting that purpose just because of something you said back in 2002 or
Like, yeah, you
whenever.
can have whatever you want as long as you are 5 stars.
Exactly.
As
And
long as
that to
you are
me
a
is a great
5 star human
insult.
being, you can have anything you want. You can go anywhere you want because of your social status.
That's
You
scary.
can come right in. Yeah, that's terrible. That's
That's
scary.
terrible.
All
Because
on Black Mirror. All of this stuff has been on Black Mirror.
listen, this is why when people be like, well, do you think we're living in a simulation? I'm like, no, because if we are, whoever is playing black people sucks at the game. They suck at it, and they need to be take the cat of control and take it away from them. Like you little, like you do your little brother. Like, give me that shit. You suck. No, you're terrible at this game. So no, I don't think we live in a simulation. And I worry about AI. I worry about the social credit scores. I worry about all of that. And I think that it's a slippery slope. Like, I don't, I, there's something about human to human, person to person interaction. There's something about human and nature interacting. I don't want to live in a world where I can't go out in the woods and hunt or just fish or just enjoy nature without fear of something autonomous coming to track the deer I just tried to bag, and it bags it first and then takes it away from me. You know what I mean? Like that's foul. So I think that like most things and like anything, there should be a balance between the two. And that's why I'm okay with cybernetics, but not so much artificial intelligence that becomes sentient life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever play the game Fallout? Fallout 4?
Nah.
All right, so in Fallout 4, they have synths. There's a thing called the Institute. And the Institute is based on it's after Fallout is based on a post-apocalyptic thing that happened after the atomic bombs have dropped and some 200 some odd years in the future. And the Institute is the progenitors of what they call the Commonwealth Institute of Technology, what we might know as MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And so they create these things called synths, and synths are artificial intelligence, but they think for themselves. They can make decisions for themselves. Yes, they have a program and a set program that they have, but that
These are
can be
robots.
they're robots, but they have sentient abilities. That's a scary thing, because while it could be good for certain things, in the long run, I think that would take away every aspect of humanity, and I don't want to live in that world. And obviously, we've seen technology go from just for example, I know what an 8-track player looks like. I know what a cassette player looks like. I know what a freaking floppy disk looks like. I know what an MP3 looks like. I know what, you know what I'm saying? I know what all these things are. I've seen that technology continue on. But when it gets to a point where I start thinking and it happens, and it's not telepathy or telekinesis, I have a problem. That's a scary thing. I don't even like having the Alexa in my house. I don't like Alexa. I do not, because I know that bitch always listening.
You even have Google or Siri or all.
Well, I have an Android, so obviously I have Google, and I know my phone's constantly listening to me. Phone's listening right now. I'm about to get mad ads for AI crap.
It's always listening. It's always listening. The only problem, I mean, I hear you, and I can't. The only reason I don't fully agree with you, I'm not totally on board, because I think you're being a little extreme to think that they're going to create these machines that have I understand that they're capable, and that they're pretty much already here, and they're able to like augment life.
Right.
But I really don't foresee them creating that.
That's like living in a matrix. That's like living in the matrix, and when you give birth, your baby is born in an artificial womb, and you just have to stop by and look at it as it gestates, and you can see it outside. I don't want that. You know what
Why
I'm
not?
saying? Because that's weird. That's not, because then that's not a human birth. That's, listen, the design work of the womb is flawless. You know what I'm saying? The design work of mankind is flawless. Yes, we have mistakes because each of us has free will and all that. But if you give machines free will, I think it's only a matter of time before they decide that we are the problem and we're the you know what I'm saying? And we need to be dealt. That's what I think.
I don't think you're gonna get free will machines, but
I don't.
you do.
Yeah,
Listen. The only thing I have an issue with is AI art.
yeah, I'm not cool with that because art is subjective and art is a very human.
That
Art to
is the
me is a
most.
very
That is the most.
human thing.
That's the most slippery slope I've ever that I will you ever get ever in life, because you'll start having corporations and companies that now have bought everyone's music. They bought everyone's catalog, everyone's music, and they're gonna be like, you know what? I can make a Future song better than Future.
Well, that's not
Some,
hard. Future's terrible.
whatever. Just so somebody's gonna
I
they're
don't
gonna
want an
try,
AI Nas.
they're gonna try to they're gonna try to one up Nas or one up Jadakiss. Like I can make the AI is gonna create some crazy bars.
It's gonna be like, ha, instead of, you know what I'm saying?
Or
Like,
or or some of these like underground artists be like, all right, fine, I'll give you my work and you can just put this person's voice on it.
right, but then you don't actually create anything. You're not the creator. The artificial
They
intelligence is the
already feel
creator.
like that's the biggest problem in the music industry, is that they think they're the creators, not the actual artists. They would love for the artists to stop creating and listen. Just do what we say, because we think this is going to make money. Stop. I understand that you're an artist and you pulled us in because of your appeal and your art, but no, there's a whole nother game that we're doing here, and you need to come along with that. So that's why there's no way they don't do the AI thing with these artists and stuff like that. Because they're gonna be like, we don't need you. You're better. You're worth more to us dead than alive. That's how they think.
And that's my
So it's
point
like, yo,
exactly.
if I can get Jadakiss's voice on this dude's raps, who will he'll give me 16 bars for $100. Why wouldn't I do it? Why, like,
Because then you don't
what's
get that.
stopping me from doing it? I gotta do it. I don't
because
want that shit. That shit can't fly, dude. Can't
no,
fly.
because then you don't get that give and take. Like, think about it. If you and I were both artificial intelligence, would we have so many nuanced opinions and ideas? No. We would set within our programming parameters to believe and think and say what our program parameters are. Instead, we get to have an actual discussion and kind of figure out what we think and how we feel about it in real time. I can't say that artificial intelligence is fully a bad thing, but I don't think it's fully a good thing either. And I think that you know what'll happen? We're gonna have an artificial intelligence president. We're gonna get a robot. We're gonna have some robot that's like running the show. And that to me is a frightening thing. Art is a very human creation. Art is not something.
What if, like you said, we got to get Nancy Pelosi and all them out of there, and all these old cats out of there, and we replace them with AI politicians?
Then the overthrowing the government, if we need to, would be that much more difficult.
Overthrowing, they did it.
I mean, they did it, but then who's to say that they won't become the tyrannical government that we're all afraid of? You know what I'm saying? Like, robots are policing everything. Robots are writing laws. Robots are doing this, that, and the third. We're not there yet, but I think a lawyer just
People
got.
are really using that ChatGPT shit all the time.
I think I won't use it.
All
I
the
think a
time.
lawyer just got caught or got lost a case because the judge said your case was written by Chat GPT and therefore it's invalid. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that. You know, so yes, robots, much like any other technology, should be used to make your life easier, not hard. And if by making your life easier, it puts you out of living your life, that's a problem. So I think artificial intelligence
be making it hard on the outsiders, because most people that will have their robots with the AI technology that is designed to do what you want it to do. If you want to give it free will, that's a whole different thing. If you want it to go up and down ladders and flip burgers or whatever the case may be, whatever the fuck you use your AI for, I don't foresee the whole free will thing happening. I don't foresee them doing that. I don't see the need. Like, where does it come from? Where would it?
I don't see the need for it, but my fear is that
we still have to trigger these things.
They
can't trigger themselves.
But again, my biggest fear is that artificial intelligence becomes sentient. And what that means is at that point, it is its own living thing, and it's able to make its own choices via free will. And if it decides that humans are the problem with everything, we're done. We're done.
That's humans' biggest that's the human's biggest fear, is that someone figuring out that we're the disease. So why would it would be self-destruction.
It would be mutually assured destruction. And the truth is, we already do that because we're humans. And we think, and some of us think we know better than others, and some of us don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could spiral that into the gun debates and things of that nature, because you ever heard somebody say, and I'll say politicians say, well, guns aren't the problem, mental health is the problem. To a degree, I understand that, because the gun doesn't pull the trigger itself. But if the gun can pull the trigger itself, what the fuck does it need you for? Who's to blame at that point? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there is an issue with mental health, but maybe we have too many guns. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just offering the idea in perspective. Personally, for me, I believe in the Second Amendment, but I also lived in a place for most of my life where the Second Amendment did not apply to us. Because if you lived in the 5 boroughs, try getting a gun.
No, and it's still that way.
It's still that way. But you're telling us that everybody in this country has the Second Amendment except for people who live in the 5 boroughs.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. Well, that's where the largest police force in America is at. It is an immediate deterrent. Like, yo.
But you know what else doesn't happen?
These people, this whole mass of people can't do shit to us.
Well,
they can't do nothing to the NYPD, because technically they don't have guns, so they don't have the amount of guns. And the only reason we have to have gun laws, because the police and the military have them. And as long as they have them and consider themselves to need them, we will have them, because they're no different than us. They're all human beings. We're all under the same thing. So it's like, as long as these people have guns, we get to have guns.
Yeah.
But we will also control the laws and decide how these things will be used and utilized and distributed and all that stuff like that. New York City, no, you can't have them.
No, but New York State and Long Island, you can. And that to me is like a slap in the face to everybody who lives in Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, Staten Island, and Manhattan.
You know damn well them people don't deserve no guns.
Huh?
That's the best thing to happen to New York, is that y'all not allowed to have guns. We weren't allowed to have guns.
Well,
it was necessary. And I
say like this:
you can't go out. We can't have no gun stores. in New York City.
Well, look, well, they used to be till Giuliani. But look at where most mass shootings happen, in places where guns are readily available.
I know, but I'm saying you can't get him, and you can't give a New Yorker the free will to go get a gun. You know how angry we are. We just talked about morale a minute ago.
But hold on, because the truth of the matter is, I think an armed society is a polite society, because if you know that everybody around you has guns, chances are you're not likely to want to cause that much trouble. And we went to high school in New York, and they had metal detectors. Nobody ever shot up the school when I went to school. But you go out to Colorado, and where'd the last one just happen? It happened in Connecticut. It happened in Texas.
Mad places.
It happened mad places, but never in any place where they say that crime. And here's a fun fact for y'all, just for the record. Statistically, violent crime is higher in red states as opposed to blue states. Okay? That's just a statistical fact. Look it up. Use your AI on your phone and Google that shit. You know what I'm saying? But either way, I think, like anything, artificial intelligence needs to be tempered with humanity, and it needs to work in conjunction with each other, not against each other. Balance in all things.
It needs to work for us, work out for us, and not it doesn't need to overwhelm us or overpower us. Like, it just needs to, you know what I'm saying? There's little areas where you can where it is very useful. You just can't give it. I hope no one is stupid enough to create some that have free will. Just cause, like, that's the thing, is that they'll do it just cause, not because, oh, we need this thing here. We was just trying this. We just trying it out.
We just figured we'd give it a shot.
See what happened. And look, it's just been doing so amazing. And then 3, 4, 5 years later down the line,
next thing you know, that's the end of humanity.
Hold on. Trump's robot, like, yo, son, I can't do it. Can't do this shit no more.
I'm telling you. Either way, like I say, AI can be a great thing for humanity, or it could be the worst thing that ever happened to us. And I've seen how that movie ends. It doesn't usually end well for us. So, listen, we'll be right back on the Just to Be Frank podcast, or we'll be talking about Neuralink, which is kind of along the same vein. You know what I'm saying? But we'll be right back.
It's a little different, though. It's a little different.
It's a little different, but that's Elon Musk, and that's a whole different road to hoe. So we're going to talk about it. We'll be right back, y'all. And we are back, and we are talking Neuralink, which means we're talking Elon Musk, which means we're talking a whole bunch of crazy shit.
The great
Elon Musk.
The great Elon Musk.
All right.
The man just is trying to do so much for us.
He is, man. Look, I like Teslas. I've been in one. I enjoy the ride.
I've not been in a Tesla yet.
I have been in a Tesla. Shit, I had an Uber driver who was driving a Tesla. No lie.
My boy, we worked in the hospital together. He got a Tesla. I think he drive Uber.
But
he got a Tesla.
Tesla's not bad. And of course,
wonder if they're hard to get.
Well, they're expensive as shit, but other than that, not really. I saw one on Carvana. I think it was like $500 a month or something like that. So what Neuralink basically is it's something that's not completely new. It's just that the way he's going about it is new, in that it's more of an invasive surgery. So what they're saying is that they finally got FDA approval to conduct human trials. So what that basically means is that, and what it's designed for is to make it so that initially the initial usage of it is to create a link between your brain and the rest of your body in the event of massive spinal trauma or things like that. Like they're saying that ultimately they want to just make it so that you can utilize a smartphone or a computer initially with just your thoughts. And I think that's again, we're delving into the world of AI.
That's dicey, bro, because the way you first described it and how you ended it was two totally different things.
Exactly.
Let me not interrupt.
So the FDA, which I don't trust because the FDA is a government agency that allows for a certain amount of lead to be in your food, certain amount of bugs to be in your food, all the cancer-causing chemicals and whatnot to be in your food.
They don't have a great track record.
Yeah, they're the ones.
Because they're one of those companies that, like, yo, you can't have no bad apples, in the words of Chris Rock.
Right. But yet they'll allow that you can sell OxyContin. So, and cigarettes. So let's not act like the FDA is an altruistic organization. Okay.
Thanks.
Elon, I was about to call him Nikola Tesla. Elon Musk. Elon Musk is trying to basically make it so that you get a device strapped into your cranium, dug into your cranium, into your skull, that will allow you to basically send signals from your mind to your extremities in the event of a catastrophic failure of your anatomy. So spinal injuries, certain other disabilities and things like that. And then
what about if you're like born with like cerebral palsy or something?
Right. Which, hey, listen, that's in theory, amazing. It's a fantastic idea. And I think that the human trials, because they've done it so far in just monkeys. Those poor monkeys don't ever get a break. But they've done it in monkeys so far. And so far, it's the one monkey they have. He was able to play Pong, on a computer or whatever, which to me is freaking amazing. That's actually really amazing. But there was a Reuters report that said that there was a lot of dead animals from the advent of it and all that, testing and all that, which admittedly is not uncommon. And, what can you do about
you have to do it that way? Because it could have been a shitload of human beings.
Exactly. Like that. So, but now they're going to go forward with human trials. And this has been in the making since like 2019. But again, this is not something that's a new technology. It's just the implementation of it is new from what Elon Musk is trying to put out there. So I think, personally for me, I think it would be a great thing. Like if I could get a Neuralink device strapped to my head that'll make my eye go boop and allow me to see out of both eyes at one time, because I don't know what it is to see out of two eyes at once. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how that feels. I never have. I don't think I ever will. I have two eyes, but only one of them works. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I can get that link in here and it allows me to go, zoop, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? But what are the risks? Does that mean that my brain can then be hacked and you can use me as like a sleeper agent to kill people? Can I, you know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe bad. I have read way too many comic books.
That's so fucked up. Man, I've had some people talk to some people about this. I ain't never heard nothing that diabolical. I think you're the one that we need to be worried about.
You certainly should, because because look, my thing is simply this: I don't care what superpower you give me. The very first thing I'm doing is robbing a bank. I don't give a damn. Like whatever superpower it is,
it may not be robbing a bank. We'll do something wrong.
Hey, listen, I don't care who you are. You get powers, you get a tail, wings, whatever. First thing you're gonna do, find a way to rob a bank. That's just reality. I don't care who you are. I don't care how good a person you are. Your first instinct is to rob a bank or do something else nefarious like that.
Yeah.
So
Heath Ledger's Joker did it. He did it the right way the whole way. He just kept burning the money though. He was getting so much money.
He only burned half. His half. But I think ultimately it would be a boon for humanity. I think it would be something that could genuinely help people, because if you are born with cerebral palsy, or how would this help people who are autistic, severely autistic? You know what I'm saying? How could it help people?
Yeah,
And if
Asperger's, what's the
right,
other shit? Like,
and if you're
you know what I'm talking about? The thing that makes you look Oriental.
yeah, Down syndrome.
Down syndrome. Even though, Down syndrome, let me tell you something. I've met some of the coolest people with Down syndrome. I've met some of the nicest people with mental illnesses and stuff like that. And it's like, it's a blessing to have those people in your life. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
But man, like the way that they're brought up, or the way that they are protected most of the time within their families, it creates this genuineness about them. And people with autism, I'm so like jealous of. I don't say jealous of. I just admire them. I admire them for one reason, and one reason only, is that their ability to focus.
I think about our friend Diamond. You remember, Diamond. I guess she's about to be 22 on June 30th. Shout out to Janaya. I have a severely autistic, nonverbal autistic goddaughter, right? She's never said a word in her life. Could Neuralink help her to be able to regain those cognitive abilities, to be able to speak and have a conversation and talk to her mom? You know what I'm saying? If it can help with that, I'm all for it. I think that this guy, Elon Musk, is genuinely wanting to help people. I also think he sounds like a Bond villain, so there's that. But I think ultimately he's got an eye to actually help people, and I think Neuralink is a way for him to genuinely help people. And I think it would be a good thing. I
agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I think he really is genuinely trying to do good things to help us live lives better. And I mean, a lot of us are very fortunate to be able to live the life that we live.
Yes.
You don't have cerebral palsy, or you don't. I mean, there's something wrong with all of us. There's something wrong with all of us. Let's make that clear. True. Just some things are harder to manage than others. A lot of things need more help than others things do. Some people can manage their thing, and some people just can't. But you need to be appreciative that you can do that thing, or you know what I'm saying, you do have the health that you have, because these are the people that you have to help. These are the people that he's helping.
Right.
This is really not, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us think like, oh, I'm about to get me a Neuralink joint and you know what I'm saying, learn how to do math.
Dude, if you don't know how to do math,
it's really not for them. It's for these people that really, really need a chance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A chance to live the life that we have, that they wish they could have, but still have the same heart that we have, and the same you know what I'm saying, ability to love that we do. They do it a whole lot better than we
do. Right. And again, if you have a severe spinal cord injury, you're in a horrific car accident, motorcycle accident, whatever, and you have a horrible spine injury, and Neuralink can help you to regain the ability to walk and all that, that's awesome. That's amazing. Let's do it.
But what about, because we watched the same video. It was like, all right, that was part of it. But they were like, yo, it's so much more that you could do with your mind. Well,
I remember when
Elon Musk how far is that gonna go? Or are you then controlled or subjected to just a specific thought process or something like that? Like, will there be restrictions to it or whatever? Or, you know what I'm saying? Are these people that then have Neuralink going to be capable of things 1,000 times more than we are.
I remember Elon talking about it on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was saying ultimately he'd like it so that people could use Neuralink to communicate, telepathically. So you don't have to guess or question a person's motives, you would know. You know what I'm saying? So in person-person interaction would be enhanced using it. Now, that might be a little bit
That's
much.
like talking to dogs. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to talk to dogs. I sometimes wish I could speak to animals, and then I realize if I could, I'd realize how much they hate us. So no, I don't want to actually.
No, not even that they hate us. They afraid. We get, you know what I'm saying? You get into these battles out of fear. Because when animals display love, when they have it, you know what I'm saying? They sniff you or something like that. When they're afraid, they just
right.
You make the wrong move. It's like, yo, that's why I don't really like. Not that I don't like animals, but I can't rock with them because I can't talk to them. I can't feel you. I gotta like, nah. We need to communicate. I can't communicate with an animal, man.
I mean, but
I don't want to, though. I don't want to.
Weirdly enough, you can communicate with animals, but do I want to be able to sit here and know automatically what a person is thinking without engaging with them? No.
That's in Black Mirror too.
Huh?
That's in Black Mirror too.
Exactly. And I don't necessarily think I want that level of ability. I don't want to be able to just look at a person and be able to read their entire being just from the fact that we're linked.
Nah, I don't think. I think you're going too far. You got to.
But that's what he was talking about. That's the type of shit.
Why would you want to do that?
Because then you would know a person's intentions. You would know what a person is actually thinking of you when you're interacting and engaging with them.
That's too much.
And you would know if a person's lying to you or not. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you're trying to make us all Daredevil. And I'm like,
nah, bro. I don't want to know that much.
Right. I don't know if I necessarily go.
I don't give a fuck enough about other people to wonder what they're thinking. I really move on what I want to do.
In this instance, if I'm to say, all right, for example, if I'm having a podcast with somebody and what they're saying to me sounds like utter bullshit, or they're you know what I'm saying, they're bullshitting me, they're lying to me, and I can tell automatically just from their Neuralink, looking at them and being able to link with their thought synapses and see, yes, he's bullshitting me.
Wouldn't that be like other Neuralink people?
I would think so. Yeah. I think it would only work if both of us have a Neuralink and I can just be like,
oh yeah, y'all just in tune. It's just like
that's too right. That's
you would have to turn your sync mode off or something.
Right. You better turn your Bluetooth off. But
That's crazy.
But if its only and sole purpose and design is to actually help people, I'm all for it. But again,
that's where technology goes. Technology always starts off this way. Technology is always created. All the innovations that we've all got wasn't in the best of intentions.
Right.
The like button. It was just all right, let me quickly acknowledge this thing. Now it turns into a whole social illness.
Yes, I agree. Shit.
It was not created to do that. That's just what it ended up doing to people.
Think about it. The cotton gin. Before that, people was picking cotton by hand. After the cotton gin, Eli Whitney, after the cotton gin, then cotton production took off. You know what I'm saying? You didn't need as many slaves because you had a cotton gin that could help process the cotton without.
Yeah, they did it better than the slaves did.
Right. So ultimately, I think Elon Musk is
Damn.
How do people not think of things like this?
You can do that, can't you?
No,
I'm putting you on the spot now. So
I can't. I cannot do that. But I firmly believe my stepson could.
Which means you can learn from him.
I know I'm too old and set in my ways. I don't want to learn that shit.
I'm on to you. I've always kept a close eye on you. Make sure you're not doing nothing stupid. All right, you said some scary ass shit. You said some scary stuff, and I have a feeling. Because this is the thing. We're like we're entering into our 40s.
I'm already there.
I know we're here, but this is an amazing learning period in our life now.
I agree.
This is a new level, and I believe that by the time you're 50, it's conquering time.
Listen,
I think by the time you're 50, if you care enough, it's conquering time.
Listen, I think we'll think about it like this. Let's look back when we were kids. People who were 50 years old were dead people. They looked dead. They looked horrible. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you see somebody who's 50 years old, they look jacked. They got freaking muscles. Their cognitive abilities are still great and sound. I think I genuinely believe that is something that can actually help humanity in a way that would be beneficial, especially if you are genuinely helping people. But again, not everybody is altruistic or as fundamentally good as you would like them to be. So of course there's going to be people who are going to try and game the system and screw everybody over with it. And I think that that's a genuine fear that everybody and anybody should have. You know what I mean? But if we live in fear, we'll never progress. So you kind of have to weigh the options of it. And I come down on the side of it can help people. Let's do it. I think Neuralink would be the next step in aiding humanity to a better tomorrow, aiding our kids to a better tomorrow. But I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
I think we're asking the wrong question. Is the AI that you're afraid of going to become us?
You know what? That's a very interesting question. And I think that ultimately, I think people are the problem to a degree, because how many minorities own energy or mining companies or logging companies? How many women own energy or logging or companies? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There are none that I know of. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying I don't know, man.
Might be a couple, but not.
So,
and if they are, their money is in flux with them, not us.
So, I think we have to look at it for what it's presented as. It's presented as something that can help people, and if its design and structure and ability does actually help people, let's do it. Let's actually help people. And if Neuralink is the way to actually help people and help them gain some abilities back and live a better life and a better lifestyle, I'm all for it. But if it's not, let's call a spade and do what we will.
But by then it'll be too late. It's already too late.
It's already too late because we're already thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying I'm going to go.
We're behind. Like it's ahead of us.
Right.
We don't have any structure for when these things do take the jobs that
No, we do not.
we don't even want.
No, we
That
do
we
not.
don't even want.
Because,
Where we have no structures in
well,
set for
but that's
when that
because
thing happens. But maybe and it's messed up. But what if Neuralink makes you the best worker ever?
then it's being used for the wrong process, because nobody should want to be a worker for the rest of their days.
Have you
And I
seen
get it.
have you seen Severance on Apple TV?
No.
Oh man, I'm about to give you my Apple TV. I don't, but you probably don't even watch TV.
I do watch TV, but I don't. You know what it is, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I have never used an Apple product since the Commodore 64 back in '88.
Yeah, but I'm a film buff, so Apple TV they have all the best people.
Apple TV does have a lot of
Production.
good stuff that I
They have
want to see.
everything. They have everything, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, Netflix, and all of them. They're doing their thing. Apple TV came in with a vengeance and just like rolled over on everybody.
Hey man, the
But
Apple.
the but the
Listen,
but
my
the show they got Severance, right? I think like it's like it feels like some afterlife shit, but they basically gave you like the red pill, blue pill, and then you're like stuck just doing your job for like a certain amount of time, and then you wake up and you're you.
the
And
only
you come
thing I
back. It's crazy.
the only thing I have with Apple is the Just to Be Frank podcast is available on Apple Podcasts. So go for that. Check that out. But cheap plug. But no, listen, I think Elon Musk, all his companies, everything he's doing is designed to help people flourish.
Mm.
Most people have this view of him, like, except for Twitter, because Twitter's fucking stupid anyway. But
Not a real
and I'm
place.
on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at FrankStarFire6. But either way, like I don't know if it's going to do what it was designed to do, and that is only help people. But if that is the application of it and it works, I say let's use it and use it to its fullest advantage and its fullest breadth of possibilities, and see
Yeah,
where we go from there.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it work.
Me too. Because if it does work, maybe that'll be the next step of human evolution, where we all get Neuralinked in, and maybe you can live forever in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like if I get Neuralink, right? And this vessel of mine dies,
Wow.
but I
I
can
like how
live
you just
on
rolled
in
over.
like the metaverse or whatever. If I can live if I can live on as a virtual reality simulation of me, and I'm still me, I'd do it.
There's a show. There's a show out like that when you die and you have like a choice where you get, and it's like I don't know. But anyway, you make the choice, right? You can go and upload yourself into a virtual world and live in that for the rest of eternity.
I think I would probably do that, or like Altered Carbon, where you get you can replace your consciousness into a disc and it can be implanted into another vessel. That would be cool too. I'd probably do that. I'd make sure it's somebody with like a 42-inch dick, but I do.
Wait, put your subconscious into somebody else?
Into another vessel, yes, into another human.
Into a baby.
I don't know if maybe not a baby.
Well, you can override somebody.
But like for example, boom.
You can override LeBron James.
Well, let's say, okay, I can transfer my consciousness into this disc that you can implant into a child that maybe was severely damaged, had cerebral palsy or something, and to have my consciousness, that person, or maybe not cerebral, I think that's a neurological disorder, but something where your mental faculties are gone, your brain dead, for lack of a better term. And I can then upload my consciousness into that vessel and grow from there. Yeah, I would do that. I would definitely.
Hell yeah.
I would definitely.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
I would too. I would too.
I don't care. I want to live forever. But
I love how I love how you just rolled that in there. Like, yeah, Elon Musk will make us live forever.
Come on, Elon, give it to us, baby.
That's your goal. See, your goal. Yeah, my goal is just to have my car pick me up, drop me off, and then
Well,
pick me up later, to take
if
me home.
I mean,
Yours,
I mean, it's funny, and
yours.
I'll ask you this weird question: would you rather be deaf or blind?
Can't do neither, dude. I can't do neither.
No, I mean, if you didn't have a choice, or if you had a choice, and it was like, look, we can
I,
either
I,
make
I
you deaf
I'll
or
be
make
deaf,
you
dude.
blind,
I'll
which
be
would you
deaf.
choose?
I'll be
Because I
deaf.
know for a fact I would choose blind. Because I damn sure, because I've lived most of my life half blind anyway, so I ain't missing that much. But if I couldn't hear music, that would drive me crazy.
Yeah, I'm a vision guy. Like I need to see things. I like to see things. I'm a
I
scenery dude.
I do too. But when people talk about, oh, the PS5 has X amount of high fidelity and this, that, and the third, and I'm like, listen, my vision's too poor for me to be able to see that anyway. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I can't see graphical quality any better than anybody else. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me. But if I couldn't hear what was going on around me, I couldn't wake up and hear birds chirping. I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want that. I would prefer blindness to deafness. Just me.
Nah, nah. I hate hearing half the shit that y'all people have to say anyway. So I don't need to hear y'all. My life is so much better when it's quiet.
I don't want to be deaf.
Oh
But
man.
that's that's one of those things. Like, could your Neuralink fix that? Can your Neuralink prevent me from living a debilitated lifestyle? And if that's the
Could it give
case,
Stevie a peek? Just a peek.
just a little bit.
Could it give Stevie a peek?
You
He
know
should
what I
be
mean?
the first. He should have been the first one though, but he could already see. So we like niggas don't even care. Niggas ain't trying to get Stevie a peek no more. We know
Hell
what Stevie.
no.
We
Yeah.
know Stevie can see.
And I can, as far as like being able to see, listen, as long as I can still touch my lady and know that her boobies is right there, I'm good.
How you gonna get to them? How you gonna get to them?
I mean,
Let's
I'm
somebody
gonna
put.
touch it.
What
I'm
if
gonna
she?
use
What if
my
she?
sense of touch.
What if she's talking on the sidelines and then they just drop some nut sacks in your hands? You can't even tell.
You can tell the difference between a titty and a nutsack. I'm sorry. You can tell the difference between a titty and a nutsack, damn it. Like, and if you can't, you might
I need to
have
see it.
different issues.
I need to see it. Oh
Yo,
man.
man. That's fucking hilarious, man. Yo, look, we gonna end it right there, man. But any final words on all this madness, man?
I don't know. It's never it's no madness over here, dude. It's always good. It's always positive. It's
How
always
how how did that month of super training go for you?
it went nowhere.
Nowhere?
It went. I got a little definition out of it, but it
There you go.
didn't. I couldn't go the whole way. I'm too distracted. No
Did you go
discipline.
the whole month without having sex?
Man, what? That went away real quick.
I knew it.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. I got on Zoloft because I was trying to
Okay.
get on. I was trying to get some Adderall. I was trying to get some Adderall from the doctor, but he gave me some Zoloft instead, and that shit made me impotent.
Yeah, yeah,
My dick was not working anymore. I
yeah.
said, nope, doc. I don't think you knew who I married, bro.
Yep, nope, none of that
she's
shit.
a she's a
I
freak.
listen.
I gotta
I
take
had
care of that. I gotta take care of that on a daily basis. I
I
can't be impotent.
I suffer from low testosterone, and you best believe I use as much supplements or whatever I can to try and reverse the effects of that shit, because that shit makes you impotent too. So fuck it.
My month of discipline proved that I have no discipline.
Well, then there you go.
That's all that did. That's all it did.
All
That's
right.
all.
Listen, hey, your wife didn't leave you though, so obviously fuck Zoloft.
But I do got I'm about to start writing a project based on me and my wife's love story.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take a little online class and just have it teach me how to fucking write it real quick and unveil
I
that
don't,
bad
I
boy.
don't, I don't think you actually need an online class for that. No, I'll give you the best advice any writer will ever give you: write what you know and steal from the best.
Write what you know, steal from the best.
Yep, yep. If you want to write something like that, just write what you feel, create the character in your mind, and craft those characters exactly as you would yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's
I mean,
easy.
the times that I made films was while I was in film school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a pretty easy step actually to doing something, getting it done. So I'm
Yeah.
actually looking forward. I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm really looking forward to like unveiling it when it's done. Because the idea and the concept of how me and this woman ended up together is crazy.
You know what's funny? We should do an anthology series because I think the way me and my lady got together would make an interesting story. Is going to make an interesting story as well. She's already writing it in her book, but I think as a series, that would actually make a dope little anthology series. Like, yo, let's tell love stories, but the wackiest love stories possible. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no, because but the thing about love stories is they are stories, and every story has some uniqueness to it.
that's right.
You just got to tap in. Like I didn't even realize the kind of relationships that I've created or generated in my life from just working. A lot
Yep.
of my coworkers that I've had are amazing people, and I've had amazing like times with them and situations with them, and I'm like, yo, throw that in there. Like it's easy. All you gotta do is tap in. Just tap
That's
into the things that you know.
that's right. Write what you know. That's what I said. Write what you know.
No,
You
you
know what
did,
I mean?
it did not fly over my head at all.
Well, listen, man, it's always good to talk to you, good brother. I appreciate you, Zema. We got, you know what's funny? I know I want to be more consistent, and now that I've moved back into my place and got everything squared away, I can be much more consistent. So I want to try and do this like I want to try and film like 2 or 3 episodes every other week, just so I have them and am able to put them out and everything. So that's what I'm planning to do, man.
You gotta do it.
It's hard, but
Hey,
we got
that's the part about success that no one ever discussed.
the work,
The journey and the
the
work.
journey, the
The
work
journey
involved.
and the work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And
Well,
even the people that will tell you like, wow, this happened overnight. There was a lot of work for
there
that.
was a lot of work. You know what I mean? So we'll leave it right there, man. For my brother Shaun Wallace, I'm of course your boy Frank Starfire, and of course, do all the fun things that I want you to do. I need you to do: like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, hit us up, all that good stuff. Leave any suggestions or thoughts down in the comments. Anything we talked about today, or anything else that's on your mind, man. I appreciate hearing from you. As ever, this has been the Just to Be Frank podcast. See you next time, man. Peace.